India's tour of England is just round the corner, and during a website launch in Mumbai, former Indian cricketer Ajit Agarkar lent his perspective towards India's chances in the 5-match Test series. According to Agarkar, the whole idea of playing overseas will be exciting for a lot of players in the squad as they will be travelling for the very first time.
Overseas, that's where you want to prove yourself as a player. Maybe, you'd probably say for a bowler it's a little bit easier if you tour to Australia or England or South Africa, but it's not, because you've got to learn those conditions as well as a bowler. So any overseas tour, you ask any player that tours overseas, wants to prove himself away from home. You're familiar with these conditions, although I'd rather bowl away from home than India, but so it's a tough tour. 5 tests is not going to be easy.
When asked about the inexperienced batting department of the Indian squad for the England tour, as only MS Dhoni and Gautam Gambhir have played there before, Agarkar said it was a concern, but the current batsmen would take confidence from their performance in South Africa and New Zealand.
When you have guys like a Tendulkar or a Dravid or Lakshman suddenly leaving and Sehwag not in the team, you're going to have, those guys have played over 100 tests. When you have top 4 of the 6 batters suddenly gone in the space of the last couple of years, you're going to have inexperience. But as I said, they've had, in spite of what people were saying, they've had reasonable tours of New Zealand and South Africa batting wise. So, they've gained experience than that. And sometimes with the IPL, you generally, maybe not the English bowlers, but you generally tend to play some good quality seam bowling or fast bowling day in day out in the nets, which generally helps. It's going to be a tough tour, there's no doubt that suddenly it's not going to be magic and they're not going to win 5-0 or anything, but they've obviously gained experience because of South Africa and New Zealand.
As far as the Indian bowlers are concerned, also inexperienced to a great extent, the former Mumbai captain was happy that there were practice games ahead of the Test series, which according to him will help the Indian bowlers.
देखिए 6 बॉलर को लिया है, सीम बॉलर्स, उसमें से 3 लोग लास्ट 1-2 साल में कंसिस्टेंटली खेल रहे, पर उनको बॉलिंग अच्छी करनी होगी. लकीली 2 प्रैक्टिस गेम्स है सीरीज स्टार्ट होने के पहले, विच विल हेल्प, क्योंकि कभी कभी आजकल टूर्स इतने शॉर्ट होते हैं कि आपको प्रैक्टिस गेम नहीं मिलते, वो प्रैक्टिस गेम इंपॉर्टेंट होंगे.
Powered by NNIS.